Okay, so in other news here, the Daily Wire has been a sinking ship. They came on the scene and they tried to be the new and fresh equivalent to a large conservative news like Fox News. They tried to be that, but they wanted to be that anyway. As the new generation to talking to people online and kind of branching out and doing their own thing. So they ended up getting far too ahead of themselves. They wanted to be a chocolate company and sell their own shit razors. I bought them. They were garbage at the time when I was still following them. They're trying to make movies as well. They tried to do too many things too quickly. Also, Ben's a shill for Israel, and they keep hiring on these other bums to come on the show. I mean, you had Brett Cooper. I not aware that she's really going anywhere. I think a lot of people were excited when she came online onto YouTube and started her own page. I don't know that she got to 1 million, maybe, but haven't really heard anything other than her drooling over clavicular. And then you had Candace Owens. I mean, that entire thing was an epic fail. She's a lying piece of shit. And now they've brought on a new guy, Duke Nukem, Mr. Nuclear, whatever the fuck this asshole's name is. I never heard of him. But the Daily Wire fires half of its staff in mass layoffs. This comes as co-founder Ben Shapiro has lost 85% of his YouTube audience since last year. Now, they're saying Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire is reportedly raising 100 million plus at a 750 million valuation, with bankers targeting a future IPO around 2 billion. They are trying to go public on the stock market, so you can buy stocks of the very exciting, super not failing Daily Wire. This is all in a desperate attempt to save the company. It's sinking, as per the thumbnail that you saw, and they're gonna pull a Hawk Two, the Hawk Two girl. You got to get that thing. You got Hawk Two on it. You know what I mean? And she got talked into making a meme coin. And what they did is they talked it up, they hyped it up. Everybody gave themselves a certain amount of this coin, so it released initially with a decent number. They cashed out all of their coins and made a whole bunch of profit. And every other sucker that bought into it ended up losing all their money on this fake, stupid coin. Now, in my opinion, I see the Daily Wire doing something similar. They're going to try and go public. They're going to give themselves a whole bunch of stocks out of all of this so that they can, the day that they go live and the suckers that buy Daily Wire stock, they're going to make a whole bunch of money. Then they'll sell it and cash out and they'll make millions while the company is sinking. So let's start with this, and then we're going to go to Valhalla talking a little bit about this. Daily Wire's newest hire, who goes by the stage name Matt Nuclear. Has anyone heard of this asshole? I never have. Had his conversations with Grok leaked, revealing the terms of his hire at Daily Wire alongside bizarre parasocial interactions with the AI. I know he was asking it questions like, "Am I cool? Am I relevant? Are people gonna what?" The contract, which can be read in a thread posted by the Unfuck America Tour Twitter account in the reply below, shows that Matt had to sign over his name, image, likeness alongside all of the branding for his show. The contract resembles a Hollywood studio style deal, which are notorious for abuse. Nuclear did not consult an attorney when negotiating the contract, instead, asking Grok to summarize the deal he was given and asking the AI to encourage his decisions. Daily Wire has been bleeding top talent for some years now, first losing Candace Owens due to her drift into Israel conspiracy theories, and then Brett Cooper over contract disagreements. It is likely Shapiro and crew targeted the young and inexperienced Matt with the expectation that he would be starstruck by Shapiro into accepting the aggressive contract. They Crowder said the same thing when they made him an offer. The Daily Wire, you've got a greedy Jew there who wants to they want to own everything about you. So if you leave, he can never be Matt Nuclear again. If he leaves the Daily Wire, he'll have to come up with a new name, start fresh, and hope his audience comes over with him. Sold his soul for, yeah. Apparently, he was getting It was, the agreement was he'll get $8,000 a month. That's what he would make as a big superstar podcaster. Now, Valhalla ends up showing this, so I'm going to get into the video about them trying to go public on the stock exchange and fucking Duke Nukem over here.
Here's the comment section with Brett Cooper. Oh, no, it's not Brett Cooper. It's whoever this is. What's her name? Reagan Conrad, huh? 3.6 billion subscribers. Oh, my God. You would expect to see massive view numbers on a channel this size. How we doing, Daily Wire? Oh, 25K, 11K, 11K, 13K, 11K, 11K, 16K, 12K, 8K. Oof. Channel with over 3 million subscribers, averaging 10,000 views a video.
So I looked up Brett Cooper. She ended up with 1.69 million subscribers, and her views are getting between 20,000 and maybe 100,000. So she's not even getting half of any of her views that relate to how many people are actually following her. So 1 million followers, and the most I'm seeing one of them 150,000, because I no one wants to hear from this tripe.
Oh. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and it has been an absolutely brutal week for Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. Two huge stories coming out this week. The first one being that the Daily Wire is pretty much explicitly broke. They are no longer profitable, and they are seeking to basically sell their company by taking it public because they can't find any private investors anymore. Ooh, not great. And the second more damning story, this one just broke, was their most recent hire, 19-year-old Matt Nuclear. I'm sure you've probably never heard of the kid because I haven't. Well, it turns out he was arrested in 2022 for threatening to shoot up a daycare. Oh, and Ben Shapiro apparently didn't do his due diligence on the background check on that one. So, woo! Not great. So those are the two stories.
Yeah, that's crazy. The kid. So I don't know. He was playing a video game online and then threatened to shoot up a preschool or something. It's crazy. Either way, it's fucked up.
Talk about in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Grab some America First, America Only merch. Let's jump into it. And it's Tuesday, so make sure to catch us live at 5 p.m. Pacific for our live stream tonight. We cover weekly politics and current events every Tuesday. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. All right, first story we're going to start with is, yes, this new 19-year-old savant who is, again, they brought on to be able to go out and debate Gen Z kids, you know, really bring in the Gen Z audience because that's what Gen Z loves right now. It's definitely Zionist shill companies like the Daily Wire. Now, let's check out this story because, ooh, yeah, it is not good for little Benny. All right, so here we go. The Daily Wire's newest employee, little acorn-headed Matt Nuclear here, has been exposed for being arrested in 2022 for threatening to shoot up a daycare over an Xbox chat, otherwise known as Mateus Pereira. The political commentator was recently hired as a new political personality for the Daily Wire. Now, well, that by itself is absolutely horrible for the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro. I mean, your most recent hire being a 19-year-old kid who's got a habit of threatening to shoot toddlers. Not great, although I will say it is par for the course for Zionism, isn't it? But to my point here, that's not the only thing, because this kid is so fucking dumb that he was recently on one of his shows, showed his Grok history on accident, and leaked all the details to his contract with the Daily Wire, and some very embarrassing questions that he's been asking Grok. All right, it says here, Daily Wire's newest hire, who goes by the stage name Matt Nuclear, at his conversations with Grok Leak revealed the terms of his hire at the Daily Wire alongside bizarre parasocial interactions with the AI. The contract, which can be read in a thread posted by the UnF America Tour Twitter account in the reply below, shows that Matt had to sign over his name, image, and likeness alongside all the branding for his show. The contract resembles a Hollywood studio-style deal, which are notorious for abuse. We'll take a look at that contract here in a second. Nuclear did not consult an attorney when negotiating the contract, instead asking Grok to summarize the deal he was given and asking the AI to encourage his decisions. And this is par for the course for Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. I mean, Candace Owens, Brett Cooper both left the Daily Wire from what we're understanding, just absolutely terrible contracts and abusive contracts, which, wow, look at that. Who's shocked that Ben Shapiro is taking advantage of people? Now, if you're wondering who the fuck this kid even is, because you've never heard of him, just like I hadn't before this story broke, let's take a look at his page. All right, so Matt Nuclear with a whopping 9,000 subs. He's got a brand new channel that's got about a third of that as well, but let's look at what content he does. Oh, that's right, it's all just his simping goy slop, as you can see. So that's sort of his thing, right? He's a little Ben Shapiro. But he's also a 19-year-old kid with no education, no life history, and no resume whatsoever, so I'm not really sure why anybody would be listening to this kid to begin with. And this is a real problem for MAGA and the Zionists. They're trying so hard to bring Gen Z to the table because Gen Z is just hardcore based and anti our greatest ally. So they decided to go with kids like Matt Nuclear and dipshits like Brinley Hollyhand, little dork goy slaves that would get bullied to shit by every Gen Z kid imaginable. All right, now this is a very good breakdown of the entire situation by a creator called Postman 1.0, so shout out to you, bro. Let's take a look. It's got some of the details of the contract and whatnot in it, and then we'll talk about it.
Shapiro's newest goy slave just got exposed for trying to shoot up a daycare. For those not in the know, Matt Nuclear is the Daily Wire's newest acorn-headed Israeli shill. Matt Nuclear didn't gain significant prominence until he started doing Jubilee debates. On these Jubilee debates, he would defend conservative and Zionist positions against certain left-wing talking heads.
You actually want foreign money influencing our election. Well, so AIPAC is not foreign money.
But he didn't gain the ire of X until he was signed on by the Daily Wire and started posting daily about his undying support for Israel. From this point, he got into a debate with Beardson Beardley. Bad move. And in this debate, he leaked his embarrassing Grok chats. Those Grok chats would mostly just be embarrassing, like him asking if he's successful for a 19-year-old or whether or not Ben Shapiro would like him. And he tried using Grok to negotiate his extremely and unsurprisingly contract from the Daily Wire.
All right, so here's the
Grok, will Ben Shapiro like me, Grok? Will I have the opportunity to suck Ben Shapiro's dick?
Track numbers, and I'll explain how all this works. All right, so what he gets is $700 an episode for 11 episodes a month, equating to about $8,000 a month. Pretty good, actually, considering that his content has no views on it. So while that may sound pretty good, if he ever were to blow up into a pretty decent-sized creator, he would never make more than $8,000 a month working for the Daily Wire forever. Even if he was making $100,000 a month, that's what he would be capped at. All right, and then the Daily Wire gets 100% of the IP in perpetuity. They own anything he ever creates, including secondary channels he puts out himself going forward. And they own his name, his image, his likeness, all to be used for marketing. And they essentially take 95% of the revenue. So extremely predatory style contract. And then you get somebody who's an up-and-comer who is not quite making that much money yet, but maybe you think has the potential to 10, 20x that. And you will always own everything about them and essentially 95% of the revenue of the money that they make. Yeah, sounds like the type of contract Ben Shapiro would be putting forward. However, at the moment for the kid, it's not bad because if we look at his views, he's doing things like 4,000, 1.7 thousand, 1.5 thousand, 12,000, 1.6 thousand, 700 views a video.
Yeah, I guess for not really having anything, it's I don't know why they brought him on, just because he's an Israeli shill, and they were hoping maybe to blow him up, so to get young blood in. It was the same thing they were doing with Brett Cooper, and now they're doing it with Brett Cooper's clone. But and then maybe that they can make the person more popular, and then they'll get a return on investment. That's the only thing I can guess.
So his channel is probably bringing in around $1,000 to $2,000 a month in revenue right now. So for the moment, not bad. But again, if he were to ever become successful at all, yeah, not great. But what's also crazy about this story is you think about the Daily Wire as an organization. You're trying to take this company public. That's how massive it is, supposedly. We'll talk about that next. And you can't even do a simple background check on people you're hiring onto your show? Wouldn't have been hard to find out that this kid's been arrested before for domestic terrorism threats or the most disgusting shit ever, and especially threatening to shoot up a bunch of little toddlers. But somehow they're that lazy or they're that incompetent. Also not surprising given the fact that the company is burning in and going bankrupt. Let's talk about the second part of the story, which is that now. Hey guys, if you want to avoid being a 120-pound dork that could get physically manhandled by my 12-year-old daughter like all nutritional product, 25% supply sale, get 25% confused if the company is going bankrupt, has just laid off half of their employees. The subscribers are down over 30% on their website. Ben Shapiro's view numbers are down 90% on his YouTube channel. How could they possibly expect to take a company public? I mean, who would ever invest in that absolute fucking dumpster fire of a company? It's not going to become profitable. It's absolute pariah at this point. We all know that. When we can look at the numbers here. All right, it says here, the Daily Wire is in serious trouble. Ben Shapiro's company is desperately shopping for over $100 million in strategic investors and aiming for an IPO within the next 2 years. An IPO is when you take a company public. And let me explain that real quick. The reason why you want to take a company public from being a private company is because you need to raise money. That's the entire point, right? So you're looking for public investors so you can raise cash flows to drive your business. Now, typically the reason why companies are doing this is because they are growing so fast that they need more money to massively expand the company, and that's why they do this and go public. Otherwise, a lot of companies don't need to do this and will just stay private. So again, it's a little bizarre that a company that is failing and obviously non-profitable and going bankrupt would be seeking to go public, but it's because nobody will invest in the company in the private investment market. So paid subscribers have collapsed, down more than a third. It's actually closer to about 40% drop in the last year from their peak to just 770,000. No growth in 2 years. It's not no growth, it's massively negative growth. And you can see the chart here. They peaked in 2024 at 1.26 million. And since then, they have dropped down to 771,000. Now, you might think, well, that is a ton of subscribers still. Well, yeah, but it depends on how big your company is and how fast you grew it. Because now, 770,000 subscribers could make you non-profitable, which is the case right now. Also, keep in mind in 2026, Daily Wire has done massive sort of blowout membership sales. I see it all the time, right? They're offering Daily Wire memberships to 50 to 80% off. They're also giving a ton of them away for free. So these numbers are actually massively artificially inflated too. And the reason why they would do that and try to fluff up the numbers of...
He was caught, Ben Shapiro was doing huge investments on Facebook, buying ad time to put ads out there and to flush it all. And then he would go on his show and talk about how big they were on Facebook and how much they were reaching tons of people on it. So, he was buying bots to make everything look good. So now you have to ask yourself, of these surviving members, because online he's supposed to have 7 million followers. And as Valhalla was saying, he's getting like 30,000 views. So out of 7 million, you're getting 30,000 views. I mean, that's crazy. And the thing is, people, and I deal with this on my show as well. I have 500 subscribers on YouTube, but videos might get between 20 and 100 views or something like that, because it's a little bit like TikTok. What happens is people see you, come across your video, like the particular topic that you were talking about, or think you're based or whatever, and they'll click you and hit like, and then they'll move on. They'll keep swiping and they'll move on to something else. So if they change their mind or they just don't really care about you anymore, whatever the circumstances, they won't necessarily go back into their old stuff and then unfollow you. You have to go out of your way to say, I hate this fucking person. I don't want to hear their shit anymore. I'm unfollowing them. I think I still have a whole bunch of things that I still follow on my YouTube that I have no interest in and I do not watch at all. And this is what happened. So at one point, he did some stuff, became really popular. People thought he was based. He ended up with 7 million followers. And then as time went on, they realized, I don't want to follow this fucking Israel shill that's spouting off a whole bunch of shit. I don't want to deal with this guy anymore. But rather than unfollow him, they just moved on to other stuff. So he says he's got 7 million, but that's not actually your viewership and your interactions.
Subscribers through giving away basically subscriptions for almost free is that they want to be able to take that.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
To investors and say, see, look, this is how many subscribers we have at this much money. But what they don't know is that all those subscriptions, when the cost goes back up to 100% or they're no longer free, all of those people will cancel their memberships. But it's completely designed to basically try to lure in investors. But like I said before, who in the world would invest in a failing company, especially investing $100 million to be able to take?
Yeah, 7.01 million he's got. But his last video that he did 19 hours ago only had 16,000 views. That's it. He did an Iran threaten my life one. Here's my response. 65,000. I'll remind you, he has 7.01 million followers. People just tuned out. There was Truth versus Evil Candace Owens, the Charlie Kirk lie, got 199,000 because he touched on a hot button issue. That's Charlie Kirk. But he is not even remotely close to what he should actually have as far as alleged followers.
Take the company public when it's obviously going to burn in immediately, and it will IPO and immediately tank into the abyss, and everybody's going to lose all their money. And the reality is it'll be some Zionist billionaire that'll swoop in and pay, $1-2 billion so that they can continue to keep the Daily Wire afloat and keep it as a Hasbro mouthpiece propaganda network. That is currently what is happening. The company is not profitable. They're not making any money. They're losing money hand over fist. They're laying off half of their employees. But somebody like Larry Ellison could very well swoop in and save the day. And that's probably what you're actually going to see when this happens. Again, because they think having the Daily Wire as a propaganda mouthpiece is more important than the money that they would be making off of it, which, again, they wouldn't be making money. It would basically be a throwaway $2 billion to try to keep the company afloat as it continues to burn into the abyss. Now, aside from the actual website subscriptions that are down nearly 40% and going to continue to tank, right? We're going to see that continue to do this down to probably zero eventually. We wouldn't ever expect to see in the current climate for that to reverse. You also have just the numbers of these YouTube channels that are also run by the Daily Wire. Now, we've shown this a dozen times to show you how bad Ben Shapiro's channels have died. 7 million subscribers. 7 million subscribers. That's absolutely insane. Let's see how Ben's videos are doing view-wise. All right, 21 hours ago, 28K, 16K. 28K, 70K, 111. He broke 100 there. 79K, 85, 21, 43K. Oh, I mean, this guy's got 7 million subscribers, and he's averaging about, let's say, 40 to 50,000 views a video. Now, I like to compare it with my channel because I'm not a $2 billion company. I don't have hundreds of employees. It's just dipshit Nate in his studio behind the camera. I do all my own editing. That's it. It's just me. And let's see my numbers compared to Ben Shapiro. Well, subscribers, I have 1/14 the subscribers of Ben Shapiro. So you would expect I would have
He actually went up a couple more thousand after this video.
Views, right? All right. Well, my video 22 hours ago has done 190K, 170K, 139K, 111, 176, 135,
so,
112, 190.
There's people genuinely interested in what Valhalla has to say, and they're signing up for the videos and they're checking it out. There's actually some engagement in there, and the Daily Wire doesn't have it. So I don't know if they're actually going to figure it out and they're going to get on the stock market, but don't be fooled. Don't buy the Hawk2 coin and don't buy the Daily Wire stocks or coin either. All right, I'll have more updates coming. If I don't get them up today, I might have to get them up today because I have updates from the Tyler Robinson trial, and I want to do my best to attempt to keep up with this. So I'll have some more coming up in a little bit. Thanks, everyone. Like and subscribe. Support the show any way that you can. I really appreciate it. Talk to you all soon.